Hi, everybody, and welcome to today is not the podcast. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say today. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Not complaints, but let's do this whole thing. As you can see, I have here my phone. The whole idea is we're gonna do this also on Instagram, so we can get the
Okay,
people. So let's start
perfect.
the Instagram right now.
Okay, sounds
So you can
good.
join. We encourage anyone that is watching us to watch it here on YouTube or on Facebook. It's gonna be the better experience and everything. In
Yeah,
Instagram, you're just gonna be able to just listen to us. I know it's amazing to listen to us and listen to Brian's and the whole thing that is finally coming to an end. The whole trilogy. This is like the Star Wars whole thing. So let me invite you, and then now we can.
okay,
Let
I
me.
just sent you a
Okay.
request, so we should be good there.
Okay. I just invite you, so this will be good to go. That.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we are.
Let me
Whoa,
sign
I've got like it's like
here because you
Bizarro
are
world.
here for my little thingy here. And so for everyone that is on Instagram, we encourage you to go to our YouTube channel on Camino People or on Facebook because we're going to be showing, a little something new from the trilogy through a field star. So Brian, finally, two books, many Caminos, many years, and the trilogy is
Yeah.
going to happen to an end.
So we're coming out with a third book. So yeah, this one is called the series is called the Through a Field of Stars series. The first book is The Way Through a Field of Stars. The second book is Back Through a Field of Stars, and this third book is Home Through a Field of Stars, which is going to be awesome. So it's really the way back home. If you put all the titles together, I got a little card there with the titles all on there, which is pretty cool. Hi Instagram.
So was
it's
that something planned since day one, like the way home, or
I did.
was that was something
I
that really
it was
just happened?
it was totally my subconscious. So I had no
Really?
intention of it being called The Way Back Home, but it really fits in kind of with the series and all the everything in there. If you're brand new to the series, essentially it's about a secret code of the Knights Templar on the Camino de Santiago. So 2016, I took this epic pilgrimage on the Camino. I got to the Arc of San Antone, which is this giant arc just jutting
Mm.
out of the air. Like I love it. That's my favorite place on the Camino. And I thought, my God, somebody's got to write a book like about this. It looks like it's out of Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. And just beyond there is like Castle Jerez, which is a hilled city with the ruins of the castle on top. And I checked into the albergue and they stamped my passport and it had the Cross of Jerusalem on there. But the crosses were more like Knights Templar crosses. I said, oh, the Knights Templar. And the guy said, what do you know about the Knights Templar? And I said, I don't know. What do you know about the Knights Templar? And we got into this great conversation about the history of the Templars on the Camino, and especially their history there in Castle Jerez. There used to be 5 Templar commanderies there, and they said that the
Wow.
whole the hill underneath the city is hollowed out with tunnels that the Templars
Yeah.
used to use for things. And it was just like really amazing to see all that. Like it was so cool. And the next day he said, look for the clues the Templars left behind on the Camino. So I went. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also a dancer. Actually, just performed in front of like 1,700 people this last weekend in London. And I have my dance shoes, which were my most valuable possessions. And what I did is I took them out and I left them and just said, I'll trade these in for a story. And every day like that, this book series just played like a movie in my head. The people I saw became characters. The things, all these secret code weird things started showing up, and I was like, "What is this?" And so they all made their way into the book, which is pretty phenomenal.
One of the things that I think is amazing that there's a lot of being talk about the Templars. There's a lot of
Oh
being
yeah,
said with the Camino, the relationship, and also I want to invite everyone that is listening right now, to listen to a previous podcast because in the previous podcast we talk about the whole story of why you decided to write the book,
it's true.
why the whole thing, why you started your first Camino, and I think it's quite a beautiful story that everyone will enjoy. So I'm going to invite everyone
Thank
that
you.
is following us on Instagram. I know they're having issues with the listening to us, but I know the problem. Like we are here with one microphone, here with the other microphone. So if you can, you can switch
Oh,
to Facebook or to Instagram, or I mean, of YouTube, and you will be able to listen so much better, and you will be able to get much more.
okay,
But
cool. Is my microphone not working on Instagram?
oh,
Is
it is
that
working. But the whole thing, I think we do echo. They were saying someone on Instagram that they were having some issues listening. So
oh, okay.
it is life.
Yeah,
Anyway,
say lemon.
so finally, I'm like you in walking, and now you decided. The cool thing about your books also is that you always found them through a Kickstarter campaign. For the ones that don't know, Kickstarter is a
Yeah.
whole idea. It's kind of like the Camino in itself. And like a lot of people helping other people to get back at we call them bake their project. It's not
Hmm.
like we are bake anything. You were making a book in this case, but all your books were supported by followers, by people that like your book or that like your journey. And now, what is the plan for this third one?
Totally. So yeah, like we feel so blessed. Like it's really amazing. We were able to sell over $10,000 of pre-sales of our first book with the first Kickstarter, which enabled us to create an amazing book. Oh my goodness. I forgot I was wearing earphones. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you're wondering, this is live. So anyways, yeah. It enabled us to create this book, and same thing for the second Kickstarter. Once again, we ended up raising about $10,000 as well on that one. And it's so cool because we get to invite people into the creation process with us. You know, it goes from just being my book to being our book. And it's really cool. Even like one of our prizes on there is to become a character in the book. And two of my favorite characters in the book are based off of people who came in with the Kickstarters. And they figured out all these problems that I didn't know how to fix. And I was just like, you know, just like the Camino gives you exactly what you need, you know, it's the same with this book. It's been like everything I need just kind of comes in one after the other.
I want to remember to everyone that is listening to us on Facebook and YouTube or Instagram that you can leave a questions. You can type it over there, and I will be able to see it. And you can ask Brian anything about the book, anything about the story. I have some ones, you know, it was not on it wasn't WhatsApp, it was a private message saying, you know, is this a mystical thing? Does it follow what the real Templars were doing? It is just full fantasy, or is this something, you know, historically based? Have you done any research, or this is just like the Da Vinci Code, you know, something really cool and amazing to read, but just, you know, fantasy?
Yeah, great question. So I'll say yes to both. So there's both aspects. So it is kind of a fictitious adventure, but it happens in the medieval world. And for all the characters that are in there that are medieval, we have an appendix in the back. So we have an appendix that tells you who the Templars were. We have an appendix who tells you who Princess Isabella was. She's the lead heroine in the character. She's King Philip's daughter, and King Philip was the one who was trying to round up the Knights Templar, essentially. And so for all the historical characters and all the legends and everything, I have a deep appendix in the back that you can go into and really geek out and learn about this. Actually, that happened because my wife is always my alpha reader for my book. And whenever she would get bored, she'd like, oh, that needs to go in the appendix. It's too much history. and so I would just throw it back into the back. But yeah, there is a lot of, I guess you can say, fantasy elements in the book as well. But most of the stuff in there, it's so cool. Like I'd say 90% of the Templar code that I talk about and the things like that, you can actually see when you go to walk the Camino today, which is really exciting. And I don't know if I said this or not, but my wife and I, during this next Kickstarter, are actually going to be walking 30 days across Spain on the Camino, taking all of our Kickstarter backers with us step by step of the Camino. And we're going to show you all the secret codes that we found, all the symbology, all the castles, all the cathedrals, pretty much everything. We're going to take you step by step on it, and it's going to be so much fun.
And that's one of the things that I want to invite everyone, you know, because usually a Kickstarter, for people that don't know, usually you plan a Kickstarter and you have X amount of days to reach the money that you need for the project. So the whole idea that is really cool about your project is like you're going to be walking the Camino, you're going to start the Camino the day you launch your Kickstarter campaign, and you're going to be following and giving, you know, people a lot of tips, a lot of different things, a lot of stories that they are in the book that people are going to be able to connect to it. And also, you know, so I encourage everyone, you have right there, you know, the Kickstarter.com projects through the Field of Stars. You can go there. The Kickstarter campaign is not there yet, but you can subscribe. And once it's live, they will be sending you an email.
Yeah, we go live in 2 days. 2 days.
And why is that important, and why we need as many people as we can on day one? You know, Kickstarter is a social media platform. It's like Instagram. When you get a like or when you get a save, it puts you to the top of a lot of million projects that are on Kickstarter. So if we get a lot of people to bake the project on day one, that means that the project will be shown to more people and more people and more people. So that gives Brian, you know, the possibility of baking the project in 1 day or two, whatever. That will be amazing.
Oh man, I would love to get fully funded in 24 hours. And my whole reason for writing these books is to inspire. I want to inspire 1 million people to go walk the Camino. Like that's it. You know, so like
the previous interview, and you said that on the interview, and we talk about it. Our whole mission for you and for me is to inspire people to go to the Camino. And like this is a whole thing
That's it.
with the amount of money that you're asking this time is just for the process of the book. I'm like, you're still gonna have to pay many things. It's just a help to get the book, and also it's a way for people that don't understand this. You pay probably less for the book now on the Kickstarter campaign than when the book will come out, and you will get it earlier because you're helping to get the book out. So that's the
Yeah, I mean, the payment is it's about comparable, the same, but you get more for your value. So each book that we do on there, we give you a free ebook with it. You get your name in the acknowledgement section. Each one comes signed. So you're getting things that you can't get anywhere else besides the Kickstarter. And we have a lot of other fun stuff on there. I mean, it's like priceless, like some of the things on there that we're giving. So it's really cool. And you get to help be a part of a book. Like, how cool is that? Like getting your name in an ebook or getting your name in the back of the book, like, or becoming a character. You don't get opportunities like that every day. It's something that's
also
really fun.
being part of something that already is part of the Camino. Like your book,
Yeah.
you know, there's many books, but I think a trilogy in the Camino, I think it is really part of being it. And as I say, you know, always helping someone that is in need. Isn't that the whole point of the Camino, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly what Kickstarter is, just helping somebody else who's in need and helping them to reach their goal. You know, each Camino is like a lifetime, right? You have different people that come in at different times and go out at just the right time. Some join you all the way to the end of the world. Some are only there for a few minutes, but they have a big impact in your life. And it's same with these Kickstarters. They're each like their own lifetimes. It's a lifetime of a creation of a book. Like you get to be there at the very beginning and like the birth phase of it, essentially. And then you get to see it go on to win awards and become bestsellers and whatnot. And we did that with the first book. We won an Eric Hoffer Award, which is one of the most prestigious awards in the self-publishing world. And we did for the second book as well, Da Vinci Eye Award. And we also became Amazon bestseller in several categories. So I'm pretty pleased with what our books have done so far. And yeah, but like I said, the goal is just to inspire people to walk the Camino.
And also, you know, in a side note, I'm like, you also now help people to get to that point. I'm like, one of your things that you do is help people to get their books to the point with all the stuff that you learn through your Kickstarter and through your writing campaigns. That's what you do now.
Totally. So yeah, I mean, when we first started publishing books, we knew nothing. Like I grew up dyslexia in a third grade reading and spelling level. Like I never thought I'd write a book. So like I thought God was playing a joke on me, right? You're like, yeah, right. I'm gonna write a book. All right, fine. But anyways, I think when you're called to do something, you do it. And so I did it, and here we are 3 books later. But after we launched our first Kickstarter campaign, people, like all these authors, kept coming up to us saying, how are you funding your books on Kickstarter? How are you getting all the success? And so we actually created a course called From Kickstarter to Amazon Bestseller to teach people this Kickstarter process so they can fund their books. We're also helping other authors. So a lot of authors will go for vanity publishers, and a lot of times vanity publishers, you pay them like $4,000 to publish your book, and they'll do something that would cost you about $500 to do on your own. And then, around that. And then they won't help you get your book out there. So a lot of my clients come in that situation where they think that they're not really good writers because their book isn't doing anything. But the thing is they haven't been taught how to market it or how to position it to become a bestseller. And so we help take them to Amazon bestsellers and get them out there. And it's fun. I've been able to help a couple Camino authors do it too, which is amazing because it furthers my goal of getting more people to walk the Camino. So it's like, it's great.
More will be coming. I'm sure more will be coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do you think? Let's time for the video?
Yeah, let's. Oh, this is so exciting.
So this is a premiere. Please tell us, what are we going to be able to see?
Yeah, so pretty much Kickstarters usually make a video for it, and I'm super, super excited about this. We are debuting our Kickstarter video here with you guys tonight so you can see it. And the coolest thing about this, like, I love this so much, was, you know, there's a saying, if you do nothing, nothing's going to happen. But if you do something, something's going to happen. And this guy, he just randomly was amazing. His name is Dean. He's actually walking the Camino right now too, which is awesome. He came across one of my groups and he said, hey, I'd like to compose music for you anytime. And so a fellow pilgrim composed this music that you're going to hear in our video. And it's just like the Camino provides one thing after another after another. So you guys will be the first ones to see this. So definitely check it out.
So I'm going to be holding it for all the Instagram followers so you can listen to it and also watch at the same time. So see you in a little bit, Brian.
All right.
Wow.
What'd you think?
I want to go and be a Templar and hike and, I don't know, save princess and kill
Totally.
bad people all around the world and have my own castle. And
There you go.
that's the thing for me, I'm a horrible person to say this because I love this kind of books. Anything that is a Templar that has a code, everything that makes history and the Camino and all of this. That's the kind of stuff that I love. Because when I'm reading, I love to have a mix of history with something that gets me out of my everyday, crap that we are, something that lets you out. And I think the Camino is a perfect setup for all of these. I love the Código da Vinci,
Totally.
the Eight, is all of these kind of books. I think I love them. So I'm just can't wait to have it in my hands and read it.
Yeah, and you know what? Part of the secret code happens in your hometown. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a couple of pictures from Pamplona in there. And what is it? Was it San Saturno, or how do you pronounce it? Yeah. So in there, and then in the main cathedral, there's some Masonic symbology in there too, which is super cool as well. So I love it. And one other cool thing about this too, I don't know if you can see, but you see all those little markings there?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you on Instagram, right? So after you've read the book, you can actually decode that. We put secret codes into the cover. And a lot of these markings are based off of, well, some of these, it's a little rough, but some of these were actually found on the pillars inside Santiago with the stonemasons marks, right? So it was really interesting when you're in there. Yeah, I'm such a huge nerd. Like on 2016 when I went, I actually sat and I wrote every single mason's mark on each pillar of the northwest corner in there, and like cataloged them all the way through, going through. And then I searched through and like found some things here. Some things were actually went back to Ethiopian letters as well, which I thought was interesting because if you study like kind of like the Ark of the Covenant and all that good stuff, they're saying that some stuff went to Ethiopia first and whatnot. And so it's kind of interesting that stuff would be there. But or they could just be Mason's marks. Who knows? Whatever. But they're part of the code in the book, which is like really fun. But after you read the series, you can decode all these secret codes on the cover, which is just kind of a fun, cool fact that not a lot of books have.
One of the books that I read when I was a kid, kind of like that, did the same thing. And a TV show that I watched, Fringe. I don't know if you've seen it.
No,
so it was at the beginning of the show, there was like a code with something, and you were only able to see it when you have seen the whole thing. So that's and cool. I remember the Easter eggs, in the old days with computers that we have to.
Yeah, totally.
And you were the coolest. But I think that's amazing. So tell us, what are the main dates, now that we are talking? What we need to have, everybody get your phone, set up that date, and put an alarm.
Absolutely, yeah. Get your phones out. We'll give you a second. So our Kickstarter starts on the 7th. So on the 7th, 2 days from now, on the 7th we start. And then on October 7th we finish. So 30 days later. And as we said before, Kickstarter is all or nothing. So hopefully we'll reach our goal and it all come through. My hope is that we're overfunded because it actually takes more money than what we're putting in here to actually do a book. But it's like our foundational goal to get like the bare bones going. But yeah, our goal is I would love to get 100% funded within the first day. Like for the first 24 hours, love to. That would be my goal.
So let's maybe we can show the Kickstarter website so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Please do.
Maybe people that don't know, can you get the link here? I have it right here.
You're so prepared. I love it. And so he's going to be showing you what's called the preview page. And so because our Kickstarter hasn't gone live yet, we have this preview page where if you sign up on it, it will inform you when the Kickstarter launches. And we have early bird specials. So if you get there in the first 2 days, you get everything at 20% off, or a lot of things at 20% off. I won't say everything, but many things at 20% off. So it pays to be there early. And yeah, it's for the entire trilogy. You can pick up the whole trilogy. Okay, those are the old ones.
Previous ones that you have already funded.
Yeah, so those are the previous ones. Let me send you. I'll send you the link.
And this is the. It will be. Why is not? I thought I put the. Oh yeah, I know what happened. I put the. It's missing here. The.
There you go. I just sent it in the chat, so it should be there as well.
Okay, better.
Let's see if that works.
have to, let's put it over here.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so this is what's called the preview page. And so you can see all three books. The green one is the third one in the series. And like everything on the covers actually go with the secret code too. So like the symbology in the middles, like it all goes in there. I mean, this book really, it gets deep. Like somebody the other day started reading my book and she said, your book has all of the ologies in it. And I'm like, what do you mean by all the ologies? She's like, well, you got psychology, you got theology, you got sociology, you got anthropology. So she's like, you got all the anthologies in there.
Ammonology. No,
Was
I
it?
agree that what they have to do, just go here, put your email, and then you will
Yep.
say, like, I already, have it here. So you will just save. And then once the event is live, they will be sharing with you that is live, so you can go and support the project. So what are
Exactly.
you
And
waiting?
please share with your friends. I mean, like I would love this to get out into more Camino communities as well, because it might change the way that you look at the Camino, and it's fun. Like I had some people read this on the Camino, and then they started acting out the character, not acting out the characters, but they were talking about the character's journey as they're going. They're like, oh, I wonder. Like they came to this part. So I have two people in there named Gerhardt the Destroyer and Mariano the Mercenary. So Mariano's like a Spaniard, and Gerhardt's from Bavaria, right? And they're based off like two people that I went. And there was this place in one of the towns that had like giant handprints. And the girls came to me the next day and they're like, we saw these giant handprints and we totally thought of Gerhardt. And like, what did he leave his things there? His handprints there. And it's like people are starting to make these stories as they go and send me stuff too. Like I'm getting pictures of like weird things on the like symbology on the Camino. We started a Facebook group called Sacred Geometry and Symbology of the Camino de Santiago, so that everybody can just geek out about secret codes and symbols and things like that.
Stuff is there. It's incredible. It's one of the things that every time I walk, through Europe,
Oh yeah,
cathedrals, churches, I'm always looking at all those symbols. What do they mean? What they will just, it's fun.
totally. And that's the point of that group, is essentially to catalog, get all those symbols up there and figure out what the heck they mean, so that if you come across something, you can get up there and be like, oh, okay, well that's the the Eye of Providence. What does that mean? Or why is there a pentagram on that church? Right? I don't know if you've seen that, but Casadres, they've got like the pentagram window going in there. But I mean, it could be for the sign of Venus, like because like every 7 years it traces that pattern across the sky. Or it could be the 5 wounds of Jesus, but you don't know that. You just see a pentagram on a church. But you can go exactly, ooh, devil worship. But wait a second, but there's these other things going in there too that it stands for that you don't know about. So I like to go deep into that and try to figure that. Also, also in the third book, we put one of the Camino legends in there about. Oh man, that might be a spoiler alert. I won't say that.
Leave it there. Leave it there. There's story, so you will have to go and read it.
It's in Osabrero or Sabrio. How do I say it? Osabrero?
Osabrero?
Yeah. So it's about that town. So it's one of the legends with that town. And actually, there's two from there that play into it. And then yeah. So it's fun. It's fun.
Incredible. So everybody knows what you have to do now. Just go to the Kickstarter. Follow it. Share with your friends, share with all your Camino family, with whoever loves these kind of books, and whoever even know, just support a dear pilgrim friend, and hopefully we will see, that you reach to your goal on day one or two. Let's hope for day one.
Thank you.
Your journey on the Camino.
Yeah, I look forward to checking with you as you travel too, and you have your adventure coming up. Why don't you tell everybody where you're off to tomorrow?
Hopefully, we will be walking the Via de Camino de Francesco.
So cool.
From Rome to Assisi, and in Assisi I will be meeting an international meeting of young entrepreneurs and change makers with the Pope, and talking about the different way to do economy, not based just on money, and there's different ways to change the world, and that will be incredible. Meeting people from all over the world that is willing to change the world, that's going to be quite interesting.
Did I just hear you right? You're meeting with the Pope in a few days?
Yes, well, in Assisi there is a meeting of entrepreneurs called the Economy of Francesco. So with the last encyclica, with the last, one of the biggest things that the Pope wrote, it's called the Laudato Si. The whole idea is that develops, how we need to back to the roots, that we need to support the environment. There is a new way of we are not all for profit. So 2 years ago, they created this event that is called the Economy of Francesco, and it was going to happen in Assisi. I'm like, what a place, where San Francisco de Asís, the big, walker that was also one of the first pilgrims that walked to Santiago.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is we are going to meet there pilgrims, people from all over the world, to share and to work together towards different projects. That's been put on hold for 2 years. And finally, I decided, like, what a better way to arrive into Assisi than walking and following the steps of Francesco. So that would be.
Yeah, Francis of Assisi is one of my favorites. Like, he's amazing. Same. Yeah, I also like Padre Pio too. I don't know if you know much about him, but
I know both are kind of like on the top,
Yeah, the stigmata always interests me. Like, it's incredible. Like, I don't know.
The connection with nature, the animals, San Francesco. That's kind of like the Assisi is pretty amazing. When you read all the things that he wrote, the poetry about the animals, and it's just the connection there. And like, you don't have to be, Christian or Catholic. It's just human, and you see there, the power and all. And that's the cool thing, is that he was one of the first pilgrims walking to Santiago. That not many
I didn't
people
know that. That's interesting. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, there's whenever you take one layer of the Camino off, there's always like 3 layers underneath that you can just go deeper and deeper with this history. It's so fun. Like, I love it. You could study it for a lifetime. And that's why I love like people like you, what you're doing. Like, you're getting this out there into the world and helping to share it with other people and going into the history and like doing all sorts of
things. If we can make 1,000, 1,000,000 people go and walk the Camino, and if we can change their life or help anyone, I guess that's the least we can do for the Camino.
Exactly. I'm up to about 10 now. I think that have personally told me they're walking because of my books. So, yes.
That's amazing. Anyway, I want to remind everyone to go to the Kickstarter projects through the Field of Stars. If go to the Brian's profile on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can go over there. Just click on the bio, and you will go straight to the website. Remember, everything starts on day 7, so share with your friends. Really important if we can found the whole project on day 1. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. It'd be such just like an outpouring of generosity from pilgrims.
What are you, if you reach the goal on day 1, what are you willing to do?
If we reach well, I don't know. Why don't we take some comments? What would you like us to do if we hit the goal on day 1?
I will post this on the post, and it's like, what do you like Brian to do if we reach to the goal on day 1?
I mean, if we reach the day goal on goal 1, I'll be willing to do something. Not everything. I mean, we'll we'll see. But like, if we do that, like, that would be amazing, and I'd be willing to. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like,
come up with some ideas. That'll be. We'll hang it on there. That could be you. You could be the person that does it.
If I have a couple here, and I have a long train to think of many ways too.
Perfect.
Anyway, Brian, best of luck with the project. Best of luck with your Camino. Enjoy. One of the things that I hate the most is, like, finally you're going through Pamplona again, and I want to be in Italy.
I'm so sad about that fact. But next time we'll come through. Maybe I'll stop at your house and say hi to your mother or your family. Say hi.
That will be amazing. You are more than welcome to. So
yeah.
Anyway, my dear friend, as we always say, and now more than ever, buen camino, ultrella.
All right, sounds good. You too.
Buen camino. See you.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.